So maybe you've heard that meditation can help with stress, with overwhelm, with anxiety, and with feeling more grounded in your body. And maybe part of you wants that. But when you finally make the time to sit down to try it, you close your eyes, you take multiple deep breaths, you wait for calm, and nothing happens. Your mind is still spinning. Your body feels restless, and you are more aware of everything you were trying not to feel. That's the moment when a lot of people make a painful decision, like maybe I'm just not good at this, or maybe meditation isn't for me, or maybe everyone else can do this except me. And that moment is when a lot of people quit. And this reminded me of one of my longtime students, Arlena. She is one of those people who is very active, very kind, very gentle, and deeply committed to showing up to the practice. One day after a yoga class, she came up to me and said, I really don't like Savasana. And in case you don't know what Savasana is, it's the final resting pose where everybody lies still. She said, my body is lying there, but my mind is all over the place. And now, if you ever been in a yoga class and you wanted to quietly just roll up your mat and sneak out of the room right before Savasana, you are not alone. I've done that too. Because stillness is not it's not peaceful at first for many of us. It feels exposing. And after practicing together for a while, sometimes multiple times a week, Arlena came up to me again after a meditation class. And this time she said, thank you, Fawn. I really needed that meditation today. Something had changed. Not because meditation became easier, but because her nervous system has started to learn something new. That's what we are talking about in this video. Why meditation often feels hardest right before it's starting to feel helpful. Many people expect meditation to feel calming right away. They sit down, they slow down their breathing, they starting to try to be more present. But instead of feeling better, their thoughts get louder, their body feels tighter, they feel more aware of tensions, their agitation, and pressure that they've been carrying. So instead of thinking, oh, I'm noticing what's already here, they think, this isn't working. And usually, this is the moment a lot of people think they have failed. But that moment is often not failure. It's actually the first honest contact with what their nervous system has been carrying. It can feel deeply uncomfortable because if your nervous system has learned to stay alert, stay productive, and stay braced, and to keep moving forward so you don't feel so much, then staying still can feel like you're losing the very strategy that has helped you function. So, of course, it feels hard, not because there's something wrong with you, but because your body is being asked to do something unfamiliar. Meditation is the tool. Mindfulness is the skill. Meditation provides the moment to practice. And mindfulness is the ability to notice what's happening in the mind and body without trying to change it or push it away. This sounds simple, but it doesn't feel simple at all for many people. Because if your nervous system has spent years organizing, managing, anticipating, holding things together, then simply noticing can feel strangely vulnerable. So when you sit down to meditate and your body doesn't soften right away, that doesn't mean meditation is failing. It may mean you are finally noticing the effort your nervous system has been carrying all along. And that's the important difference, because you are not learning how to perform calm. You are learning how to relate differently to what's inside of you, and that takes practice. Here is what people don't talk about enough. When you begin meditating, you are meeting your nervous system without your usual distraction. No scrolling, no problem solving, no outward focus. So the nervous system does what it already knows how to do. It works harder, not to sabotage you, not because you're doing it wrong, but because it wants to protect you. This is why being told to just relax usually doesn't work. When someone is overwhelmed, their body cannot settle just because they were told to. And if someone say, everything is okay, but your body doesn't feel safe yet, those words often don't land because the nervous system doesn't relax through pressure. It relaxes through safety. And safety doesn't look the same as forcing yourself to be calm. So when effort shows up in meditation, when the mind races, the body resists. When stillness feels irritating or impossible, that doesn't automatically means something is wrong. It often means that your nervous system is still scanning, is still protecting, and still caring for you the only way it has learned. It helps the nervous system discover little by little that it may not need to stay on guard all the time. And that usually looks much gentler than what people think. It can look like starting with shorter practices or letting 1 minute count, letting the restlessness be there without turning it into personal failure, and letting the body feel supported before asking it to become still, and allowing the effort to soften over time instead of fighting it every single time you try. This is where meditation becomes less about achievement and more about relationship. You are learning how to meet your experience without abandoning yourself in it. And when the practice is approached this way, difficulty becomes information, not proof that you are failing, not proof that you are bad at meditation, just information. Information tells you what your system needs, what pace feels safer, what kind of support actually helps. And over time, something begins to change. Your body doesn't brace as easily. Your mind doesn't grip as tightly. Stillness doesn't feel as threatening. And calm begin to appear more naturally because your nervous system has learned it was safe to settle. So the shift here isn't become someone who is good at meditation. It's understanding that the hard part may have been at the beginning of the process, not the evidence that the process was wrong. And now you may not be failing at meditation. You may be meeting at the exact point where your nervous system doesn't know how to soften yet. And that's very different. This is the work I guide people through, helping them learn how to stay present in the way that their body can actually trust. Because if meditation felt discouraging before, it may not be a sign that you should quit. It may be a sign that no one ever explained what the beginning really feels like. If you resonate, just notice this, not only in your thoughts, but also in your body. Because sometimes when you want to give up is the moment where you finally meet what needs care. In the next video, I'll be sharing about why the body fights meditation at first and what that reaction might be trying to protect. And for now, just remember this. If meditation feels hard, it doesn't always mean it's not helping. Sometimes it means you've reached the part where the practice actually begins.